Okay, greetings and welcome everyone to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. I am your host, Brother Ankh Rising Sun, also in the African Hawaiian system. Cousin Ankh or Uncle Hinky. Hold on, let me see what's going on with my technology. I don't know why. 1 second. Get my camera going right. There we go. All right. And there's a lot of stuff to share, but before we get into all that, let's get into the opening. So I'll move to the opening. Brother Baraka, open the gate.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Love, wisdom, power. Remember, always who you are. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say to yourself, yes, I am. Protected. Yes, I am. Master. I am. Yes. And we will begin with the opening invocation to invite on the platform all of our ascended master ancestors. I am in me. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. We collectively ask in the name of love for the presence of Melchizedek, Yeshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Sanat Kumara, Kuthumi, Marcus Mosaic Garvey, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrafal, Simeon Toko, Seraphis Bey, Quetzalcoatl. We call upon Imhotep, Ptahotep, Akhenaten. We ask for the presence of the Shroom Masters, Dr. Sabi, Shroom Master, Dr. George Washington Carver, Shroom Master, Harriet Tubman. We call upon Chief Geronimo, Chief Sitting Bull, Chief Crazy Horse, Chief Seattle, all the shaman warriors, Nat Turner, John Brown, Frederick Douglass, Mary McLeod Bethune, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad. We call P.B. Randolph, to be a part of our platform. We call on Ilegba, Oshun, goddess of love. Ilegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Oya, Shango, Olokun, Ochosi, Obatala, Ogun. We call on forces of nature that live inside of us, ascended masters of the shamanic herbs, ayahuasca, Master Himalaya, ascended masters of Bufo, Goddess Hecate. We call on into the sea of love, the crystal kingdom. I want to thank all the crystals for all the messages that you share with us. The mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, sky kingdom, water, fire kingdom. And I say to you, thank you everyone in the audience for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for surviving the airport adolescence of your youth. And may you remember your sole mission in this life. Take hold of your crystals so that you can hear and amplify your divine purpose for deciding to come down into this muddy waters of the physical realm to make the world a better place than when we were born. We say together, Ashe. So let's call Brother Muhammad Bey. Let him do his thing.
Yes, greetings and peace.
Greetings and peace, Professor Bey. You are live on Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids.
Give me 1 minute, sir. Tap in. Hold on.
While he's getting ready, let's post up the comments. Give thanks to Internet Saver. Everything is everything. Dwayne Johnson. Tolo Bay. Brother Wally. Dai Adong. Ashanti. Thank you for your energy. And we're waiting for Professor Bay to do something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
prayer. Come to your good. Come to your good. Allah. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. La ilaha illallah. There is no deity but Allah. Hayallah fillah. Come to your good. As-salatu kahiran min al-layl. As-salatu kahiran min al-layl. Prayer is better than sleep. Prayer is better than sleep. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon thee and Allah's blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon thee and Allah's blessings. All right, family. That's the prayer. I want to read you something from the Bible. This is in Joshua 18, and everything that I read is for a reason, whether you know what that reason is or not. It's Joshua 18. The land described and divided. Then Joshua, this is verse 3. Verse 3. This is Joshua 18, verse 3. Then Joshua said to the children of Israel, and when it's talking about children of Israel, it's talking about you, copper-tone man and copper-tone woman, not some so-called Jews, okay? So let me just get that straight. How long will you neglect to go and possess the land which the Creator of your fathers has given you? Pick out from among you 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them. They shall rise and go through the land, survey it according to their inheritance, and come back to me. And they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall remain in their territories on the south, and the house of Joseph shall remain in their territories on the north. You shall therefore survey the land in 7 parts, and bring the survey here to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Creator, our Creator. That was verse 6. This is verse 8. Then the men arose to go away, and Joshua charged those who went to survey the land, saying, Go walk through the land, survey it, and come back to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Creator in Shiloh. So the men went, passed through the land, and wrote the survey in a book in 7 parts by cities. And they came to Joshua at the camp in Shiloh. Then Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Creator, and then Joshua divided the land to the children of Israel according to their division. Now, let me read something to you from the Quran, and I'll come back and I elaborate. This is the Holy Quran, chapter 7. This is chapter 7, verse 52, 53, and 54. And certainly, we have brought them a book which we make clear with knowledge, a guidance and a mercy for a people who believe. Do they wait for aught but its final sequel? On the day when its final sequel comes, those who neglected before will say, Indeed, the messenger of our Creator brought the truth. Are there any intercessions on our behalf so that they should intercede for us? Or could we be sent back so that we should do deeds other than those which we did. Indeed, they have lost their souls, and that which they forged has failed them. Surely your Creator is Allah, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 periods. He is established on the throne of power. He makes the night covers the day, which it pursues insistently. And he created the sun and the moon and the stars, made subservient by his command. Surely his is the creation and the command. Blessed is Allah, the creator of the worlds. Now, let me say this to you all. I know since I've done 30-something shows with Hank, and you all been hearing me consistently doing the prayer in Arabic and doing it in English. I want you all to understand, I'm not praying to a mystery God. I just want you all to understand that. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us well. We don't pray to spook gods. He said God is man and man is God. And ain't no other way of looking at that. Okay? I just want you all to understand that. So when you hear me doing a prayer, I don't want you thinking I'm calling up in the skies, looking for somebody to come down and do something for me. That's not the reason why I pray. See, I understand we've been so mixed up with all types of religion and Christianity and all of this stuff. I get it. But that's not me. So now you know that. Now I read to you all about Joshua. We're going to get into the show in a minute. Hey, this is just needed for me to say.
You do your thing, brother. You go right ahead.
Now listen. I come to you all, and I said to you all before, once you take something and you put it into the trust, I don't give a damn what letters you get from banks. I don't give a damn what you get from the county. I said to you all what the intent or what the trust is for. When you put property into the trust, it does what it's supposed to do. If you're going to second guess it, then that means you don't believe what I've done for you is true. That's what it means to me. See, y'all's experience is different from mine because of all the shit that I went through. I have no fear about what I give to you all. I just want you all to understand that. I'm not here to babysit. I'm not here to go back on what I say to you. What I say to you is what it is. It works, damn it. That's what I'm saying. What I give you is like good as gold. That's the best you're going to get. I don't give a damn about no letters and what the bank send back to you. Take the shit and send it back to the bank. Or stay a slave. See, you got to get rid of your fear.
Go ahead, break it down, brother.
Your false education accepted real. And see, you haven't even begun to touch the surface of what I'm trying to teach you all. But if you're going to keep being like the Doubting Thomas, then you would never understand where I'm trying to take you. I don't give a damn about no letters. I told you from the start you will get letters from them. But you just sit back and have a little faith and watch what your trust does. And I think I've said to some of you, if I was a betting man, I'd win all y'all money. Because not one of those houses that I put into your trust is going to ever go into a foreclosure. Did you hear me say that tonight, Hank?
I damn sure did.
Mark that down.
With a crayon across your forehead.
Doubts about what I'm teaching you and what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, that means your belief is still in what they're saying to you and giving you. I don't give a shit about that. Personally, I don't. That's why I read to you in Joshua. I just read it to you in Joshua. This is what you all are doing. You're getting your property back. You're getting your land back. But if you're going to keep being that doubting Thomas, then there's nothing I can do for you. And the reason why that is because a lot of you don't study what I give you. But you want everything, but you don't want to put forth no effort. I call it what it is. You can be mad with me. You can grit your teeth. You can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you still have a long way to go. At the end of the day, you still gonna need your brother Bey. Trust me on that one.
Y'all heard him. At the end of the day, you're gonna need Brother Bey. I like that ring, brother.
Well, I understand their fears. And the only thing that I can do for you is say to you is go back, pay your mortgage, be a happy slave, and continue to pay the criminals. That's all I can tell you. And stay out of my way. I told you all commerce ain't personal. It's never personal. Fucking people been getting over on you all their life, and they can send you something, and then you lose your mind because Anyway, let me go. Hey, you can put page 1 of 8 up.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I got them lined up for you, Professor. I got 7 pages that you gave me. But it says 1 of 8, 2 of 8. Everything you gave me. 1 of 8 is posted.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Y'all hear me clear?
Yep. Do your thing, brother.
What is comprehensive study of equity and application? This is a part 2. You and I must know what equity is as it relates to commerce, credits, creditors, debtors, and loans. Ownership interest is equity, which equals assets. You and I must know what asset means and what assets are in relationship to commerce. All equitables are considered assets. What are equitables? Security instrument, obligations, contracts, notes/bonds, mortgages/leases, titles/certificates, loans, credits, debits. There are 5 accountings: account payable, account receivable, income statement, balance sheet, off-balance sheet. Now, all of these are centered around promissory note. You see, remember, a promissory note and a Federal Reserve note is synonymous to each other. They promise to pay something in the future. So when you all have a promissory note, whether it be a Federal Reserve note or a promissory note itself, that's dealing with credit. Okay? So everything hinges off that. That's why they say when you sat down at signing day and you gave them that promissory note, they took it that you said that you were promised to pay in the future. And this is what made them go and securitize and monetize off that promissory note you issued to them, which paid off that house. Now, I want you to keep something in mind. And there's a reason why I told you all to authenticate your birth certificates. There's a reason why. You see, it's not so much the authentication itself, but it's the acknowledgement of full faith and credit. See? Now, allow me to give you an example of what I am trying to convey to your mind. Say you were approved for a mortgage loan of $400,000. But of course, you must have credit to be approved to get a loan. Please keep this in mind that the banks or financial institutions who lend you credit and in a books they must balance. Instead of them putting it on books as though it is a credit, they put it on the books as a debt, while at the same time they are converting credit into a liability. So guess what? Every time that they issue you some Federal Reserve notes, to them, you're considered a liability. In other words, this is why they tax you on it. They tax you on the use of their instrument. You see? Why? They're saying it is a liability. I just said that. Because it comes with a particular interest rate. See, those Federal Reserve notes come with a particular interest rate and principal. And you, as being the 14th Amendment, they have you to pay their debt for them. Title 18 USC 8. It tells you all of her debts to the United States. But since you're 14th Amendment, then you're part of their debt. You're constitutors. And you must pay it back because we extended you credit. So in other words, when we gave you the use of our Federal Reserve notes, we were extending you credit. This is what they're saying. That's a monopoly. You use it, we tax you on it. Keep trying to tell you all. Just have some patience and flow with me. That fiat-ass paper is what it is. It's a promise to pay something in the future. They have hypothecated everything in this society. And this is all the more reason why you all need to be in trust. You can't keep using that old teachings. You can't keep using that knowledge, that so-called knowledge you got in college. That doesn't work. Hell, I have a degree, but it didn't teach me this. This is the real school that you are getting, that they never wanted to teach you. And this is why so many of us, we're frustrated in our lives. We're going around in circles because we don't understand or understand how to deal in commerce. Our ancestors gave these people commerce, along with their old glory flag, red, white, and blue with the stars. That's not a national flag, that's a banner. As I have always stated to you, they never gave you anything of consideration in equity. So even your use of the Federal Reserve note, you never got any consideration in equity. Because they put you under their trust as a 14th Amendment and making you liable for everything that they do. They are doing an assessment from Form 1003. Form 1003 is the standard form completed by borrowers when applying for a mortgage loan. A borrower lists all assets and liabilities on the form when attempting to secure a mortgage loan. The application is a financial data spreadsheet that was collected from you, which your assets are called asset-backed securities, that they can use for credit cards, leases, royalties, or receivables. See, you don't even realize how important you are to them. With their crooked asses, what do you expect from the pig but a grunt? Page 2 of 8, Hank, please.
Oh, 1 second, my brother. That's page 1. Page 2 is posted.
Thank you, sir. An asset-backed security is an investment security, a bond or note, which is collateralized assets, property, or goods for a loan by a pool of assets, such as loans, lease, credit card debits, royalties, or receivables. An asset-backed security is similar to a mortgage-backed security, except that the underlying securities are not mortgage-based. Now, when we talk about the bond and the note, the bond is the birth certificate, and the note is the promissory note, in which you all must learn how to become underwriters of securities. This is what they're doing with you. This is what they do with you every time you go sit down and you want to get a loan to get a house. You're not getting no loan, though. They're doing underwriting for securities. Has nothing to do with no mortgage, mortar, and brick. Nothing to do with any of that. That's why I keep telling you all, banks does not own no property. What the banks are doing, if they can get you kicked out, they're going to keep going back, creating loans. This is how they make money. Bring in a new sucker, have them to give their information so they can do an assessment of their credit and create another promissory note so they can go out and induce other investors. This is the whole game that they playing. Y'all sit here thinking y'all got some goddamn mortgage. You don't have no mortgage. How many times I got to tell you, you don't bleed fat meat grease? I know. Because of all the false education we have been given. But you know what, though? I'm going to keep piping. And you're going to have to be in the valley of decision and make a decision about what you're going to do. But I can tell you one thing. Most of you all know for who has a house, if you don't put that sucker into a trust, you will be more at a disadvantage of losing it than if you had it into a trust. See, you only go into your fears of when you don't know how to protect and defend what you have. I get that. That's why. And you still worry about these cocksuckers and what they're sending you and what they're saying. I don't give a shit about that. Because I know what I gave you. I know where I put your property. I know what jurisdiction that I put it in. But it only tells me something about you. What I am saying to you is the information the financial institutions collect from you is financial data based upon your own assets. Your own assets. They're not giving you shit. Nothing. In other words, it is your own credits or money they are lending you with interest and principal. Look how these cocksuckers deal with y'all. Take your shit and use it and then flip it on you with interest and principles on it. And you sitting there like a slave and you paying it and just as happy to be paying. Until somebody came along and told you, hey man, hey, wake up. Put that damn mortar and brick into a trust and get rid of the mortgage and get rid of the tax. Trying to knock some senses in your head. The $400,000 was not something given to you, nor was it a loan from the bank to you, but it is an assessment of your assets. I told you you never got no loan. I've been told you all that. That's why I asked you all, how did you get into the house? Y'all look at me sometime like a cow looking up at the sun. And if the cow can talk back, he say, son, why you shining on me is very high. Another example. You have a house and you want to know what the house is worth. You bring an appraisal and he or she goes to the house to assess the value of the house to see what exactly the value of the house may be. He or she looks at the roof, boiler, plumbing, because he or she is looking at various things in the house, and then you will receive an appraisal report. The same appraisal report is what got you the $400,000. So they are not only using the appraisal of the house, but also your assets. Now, you have two equitable assessments, which are your assets and the appraisal of the house, which is separate from the house. And this is why you have to put it into the trust. The banks are going to take the financial data from the application, listen now, and shop it around to find an investor that will give fundings for those assets. The assets will be used as collateral. They are going to underwrite, see that word again, underwrite and securitize and monetize the assets in the form of a bond. So I told you earlier, you have a bond, but you don't know how to underwrite and do an assessment of that bond, because there is something you have to attach with that, and that is the promissory note. You're doing the same thing that they are doing in the public, learning how to underwrite promissory notes. Your birth certificate is the bond, and your promissory note is the security. The bond is going to have a certain rating. This is where Standard & Poor come in, Moody and Fidelity. Whatever amount the bank approves you for, it is the amount that reflects your credit score. We are not talking about a loan here. We are talking about assessment on assets. They will never report it to the credit reporting agency that you were approved for the $400,000 until you can no longer make payment. This payment will come in the form of an issued promissory note from your express trust company. Now, when you all are into the trust, if you all get a chance, you go and look up UCC 1-201, where it talks about, matter of fact, let me read it. It talks about the definition. Let me just pull it up. UCC 1-201, definition. Hold on. Let me get this. Give me 1 minute, family. I like to get there. I'm trying to show you what your trust is. Okay. All right. Give me a minute. Just pulling it up. Okay, family. This is UCC 1-201. General definitions. And for those who are looking along, I'm going to number 4 that says bank. Bank. Bank means a person. And I want you all to understand when they say person, what they're talking about. Sometimes y'all won't look that word up, person. Person means an individual, corporation, business trust, estate, trust, partnership, limited liability company, association, joint venture, government, governmental subdivision, agency, or instrumentality, public corporation, or any other legal or commercial entity. That's what the word person means. Now, we'll read it again. A bank means a bank means a person that can mean your express trust, engaged in the business of banking, and include. That means everything I'm going to read after that word include, that's what it means include. A savings bank, savings and loans association, credit union, and trust company. See the word trust company? Trust company is talking about your express trust. Your express trust is a financial institution called a trust company. This is why you're going to have to learn how to write commissary notes. Yep. Then the bank will report it to the credit reporting agency ASAP. And it will be attached on your credit report. See, this is why what y'all are doing now, they're reporting now, is because the 91st day of hit and it triggered it. So now them lying greedy bastards, they go and report it to the credit reporting agency. Why didn't you report it when you gave them the $400,000 and you knew it was their credit that you stole and you didn't report it then? That's why I say a lot of times, even with this credit reporting agency, it's a lot of bullshit too.
I agree 100%. Facts.
All of it is bullshit.
Yep.
Because they don't report it when they give you this so-called loan. That's when they should report it. And your credit score will go up to about 800 and something. But they so sneaky, greedy, and fraud you. And this is the kind of tactics and stuff that they do. This is what I'm trying to expose to you all. The bank is taking your promissory note to induce other investors for the purpose of securitizing and monetizing with your authorized promise to pay. But when you all learn from the private side of the ledger, you're going to learn how to underwrite promissory notes, and then they can't continue to do this to you. See, I told you. You're going to continue to need me as time go on. You just getting on the railroad track. It's more than what you think. And some of you want to jump the gun and you want to go before me. But I don't let you do that because I don't want you to hurt yourself. It's going to take your time. $150,000 are assessed on your assets and nothing to do with the house or a loan. And they know this, and they still report it to the crooked ass reporting agencies. The reason they get away with this fraud is because you and I have not become astute yet on how to operate in Congress. I will inform you that the bank never extended you any credit. Let's look at Title 18 USDA. Even though I gave that to you before, but just to give you a refresher, in case you forgot. Because you know how we quick to forget. Title 18, USC 8, number 8. This is what it says. Listen up. Title 18 USC 8, obligation or other security of the United States defined. The term obligations or other security of the United States include, and with that word again, includes. Anything after that word, it means exactly what it says. Include all bonds. That's your birth certificate. Certificate of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve bank notes, coupons, United States notes, Treasury notes, gold certificates, silver certificate, fractional notes, certificate of deposit, bills, checks, or drafts for money order. I say, or drafts for money, meaning when you go in the bank and you want to withdraw from your account, drawn by or upon authorized officers of the United States. You see, all of those are her obligations. So now, since you know that now, right? Now, this is all the more reason why you and I need to be into trust and set your bank up, because your trust is a bank. This is the stuff that your bank can do. So what the bank have done is extend you your own equity, because it is your credit or money that they are selling back to you under disguise of equitable conversion. Boy, that's a hell of a trick right there. I come and steal all your shoes, and then I come back with boxed up, and I'm selling them back to you. That's the easiest I can put it to you. In other words, they are taking your equity and converting it into liability. They're only giving you the liability is because they're stealing your credit. Okay? They took that promissory note that was your promissory note that paid off that house, and they flipped it on you and made you believe that you were now liable to pay them back some loan that they never gave you. Just look at it now. Now they are making you obligated to pay them back for something that was originally yours in the first place. The Federal Housing Administration, in most instances, requires an affidavit from borrowers to show eligibility for a mortgage loan. So, under the FHA, they use affidavits for a mortgage loan. The affidavit is not so much used as a sworn. Next page, Hank, 3 of 8, please.
Okay. Post it.
Thank you, sir. A sworn statement, but as a pledge of faith. See, remember I've been telling you earlier? The acknowledgement of full faith and credit, not so much the authentication. This is synonymous to authenticating the birth certificate. However, it's not the authentication of the birth certificate that you are looking at. It is the part that says acknowledgement of full faith and credit. That's what it's going to say on your authentication when it comes from the federal level. This is where you and I, after you are set up in trust, will become an issuer of promissory notes for banking purpose. This once you set up, you're going to learn how to be an underwriter. What is financing statement and its purpose? Financing statements are written records that conveys the business activities and financial performance of a company. Financial statements are often audited by government agencies, accountants, firms, etc., to ensure accuracy and for tax, financing, or investing purposes. Income statement, cash flow statement. You or I are not broke. Most of you have an authenticated birth certificate. You and I have not learned how to collateralize assets. Now, they have been underwriting yours and my assets. What is financing statement and its purpose? See, again, this is what they have been doing from birth up until now. Your birth certificate is a bank note. The word certificate is written as structured finance on the bank note. See, understand what they're saying. Even though, it's a birth certificate, but they use it as structured finance for banking purposes on the bank note. The birth certificate document itself is a bond paper that supports its being a bank note. That's what I just said. The banknote does not only go to Bureau of Vital Statistics, but it also goes to the Department of Commerce and the DTC on 55th Water Street in New York City. What they are doing is that the birth certificate is tied into, say that we are servants or slaves because the birth certificate is a bond on each one of us. However, there is a way to execute that. When your name is on a certificate, you are called the entitlement certificate holder. So if you are an entitlement certificate holder, then you have a right to that finance. See, you got a right to it. You see? And this is why I keep saying, you're going to learn how to write promissory note. You all keep hearing me repeat that word, don't you? Now, there is a dictionary called a Dictionary of Finance and Investment Terms. The definition of certificate from this dictionary means formal declaration that can be used for documented facts, such as a birth certificate, and also relevant to finances and investments. What is this telling you? Your birth certificate is an instrument of finances and investment. They are investing instruments with our name on it. You and I learn to underwrite on how to invest instruments in correspondence to the birth certificate authentication as prima facie evidence that there is a bond with a lien on the Leases for full faith and credit. Everything that was credited in the Leases name has now become property of the Express Trust. So now, since that bad boy been working for them ever since you and I were babies, then now you and I have become the age of maturity now, where we're going to take back all of the straw man's properties now, and we're going to put it into the trust. And we're going to become private investors, qualified institutional buyers, and we're going to learn how to underwrite that promissory note, and we're going to do the same thing they're doing, and we're going to induce investors. But somebody is going to do that for you, though. I'm not going to say tonight who that is, But you keep on following me, because I'm getting close to the conference. There is an agency of the Security and Exchange Commission called FINRA, F-I-N-R-A. The application is your remedy and relief based upon subrogation. Subrogation has a two-headed sword. They can subrogate us, and on the other hand, we can subrogate them. But you must first know that you are an adverse claimant. What does it mean when an attorney says the plaintiff has failed to state a claim which relief can be granted? It means we did not exhaust our administrative remedy. Administrative remedy means Administrative Procedure Act. You must know your claim in order to know what your equity is. Now, you know that your authenticated birth certificate is levy of credits. Depository institution may require an affidavit with promissory note, and with that word again, before distributing trust assets from CAFR accounts to beneficiaries, CEOs, bank presidents, judges, lawyers, etc. And let's go to page 4 of 8, please.
Post it.
Thank you, sir. Now, everyone's birth certificate is a credit bond. Credit bond. This means it is a letter of credit. Remember, it is not the authentication part, but the acknowledgement of full faith and credit. Every state has an insurance company that deals with insurance, and all loan originators have to have a loan origination bond. The loan itself has to be bonded, and the loan originator has to be bonded. Why? If that particular vehicle has anything of slander or disparages on your title, you can bring a claim against the loan originator because he or she has to have a bond. Every state has it, which is a bond for the loan and broker who is originating the mortgage as a lender. Important to know. 9 out of 10 times, your title probably will be disparaged or slandered, which means the title has been corrupted. For example, let's say lender A issues to you a mortgage. Then the lender does an assignment, which means he or she is assigning, selling, and transferring your assumed mortgage to lender B. They do this by what they call an assignment of mortgage. If you fall into what is called financial hardship, lender B will foreclose on you. That's lender B is actually the title company. Now comes to find out if you go down to the county of register, in the county and state where your mortgage is registered, you will come to know that there is no assignment of mortgage that lender B does not have. That's talking about MERS. MERS does not have the mortgage. They do what you would call a retitle of your title, which means it is being transferred over from one lender to the other lender. This is important. Why? If your mortgage is being transferred over from one title company to another, you need to know who the title company is. Normally, where you would find this information out is on the settlement statement. You are supposed to have gotten your homeowner title policy with policy number. You must contact whoever that company may be. It may be Fidelity, Stewart, American Land Title, but there are different title companies out there. You must go look on the seller statement, and you will have a list of all the money that was paid out at the closings. Now, what you would see is abstract of title insurance, and you paid for all of this. So you should have gotten your title policy because you paid for it. You need to contact the title company to see when your mortgage was transferred over to Title A, from Title A to Title B. You want to see and know whether it was retitled to lender B. It may not be. Why? When you get the title policy, it will say the insured, which would be the borrower and the lender. But mostly, the lender would be insured for the $400,000. That's the so-called bank. Where do you get this information from? It's on the title policy. A lot of people do not know what the title policy is and do not know the lender is insured for the full amount of the $400,000. In other words, when you stop paying it and it goes into that 91st day, it's going to trigger the title company. See, the title company is the insurance company themselves. The bank has a contract with them, and they're going to go and collect that money from that title company. Now, the only one who has some skin in the game is the title company itself. And to be frank with you all, I don't even think there are any title companies. I really don't. All of them are insurance companies. That's who they really are, posing as title companies, but they're really insurance companies. Now, this means that if you were to default on the loan, then the lender can go to the title insurance company, see right here. They would make a claim by accelerating the claim to the full amount that you have alleged default on, and make the claim through the title insurance company. This is how they're going to get the money. And guess what? Let's say, for an example, if your mortgage was $350,000 and you had been paying on it for 15 years, guess what? The bank is going to get the total $350,000. No matter whether you was paying on it for 15 years, they're going to get the full amount. That's some crooked shit. That's fraud all the way around. Technically, they were supposed to stamp your note by saying mortgage paid in full, and they were supposed to release your mortgage. And go to page 5 of 8, please.
Post it.
Thank you, sir. This is mortgage fraud. What happens is the bank foreclosed on you and made a claim. Listen to this now. They foreclosed on you and made a claim to the title company and collected them $400,000. I just told you that. Even if you was paying for 15 or 20 years, they're going to collect the full amount of the original so-called loan they alleged they gave. Isn't these some crooked bastards? And y'all sitting here worried about getting some letter in the mail from them when they fraud you all from the moment you sat down all the way up until now.
A letter from the devil. They get nervous when they get a letter from the devil.
Absolutely. This is double dipping, and insurance fraud. That means they already know. In case you ever default, they already know they secure it. They're gonna get theirs regardless. Then they issue you a 1099-A. Listen to this now, how slick they are and how dirty they play. Then they're gonna issue you a 1099-A, acquisition of abandonment. They say you abandoning it now because you stopped paying, because you keep what the game is. So they're going to slide a 1099-A for abandonment of secured property, which is tax fraud, because with the alleged mortgage default to be outstanding, the bank will put that on a 1099-A and send it to you via mail. However, once again, it is tax fraud because the title insurance company has already honored the bank's claim of the $400,000. Damn it, you better listen to what I'm saying to you. They've already gotten paid. And then they passing you over to the IRS. So now they seeking the other dogs on you. So the only thing you have to do is call up the IRS and inform them of the fraudulently filing by the bank because the mortgage default had been claimed already through the title insurance company. That's what you all need to do. And tell them how they filing that shit on your credit report. So you got all the questions for me. I'm giving you an answer to your question. Treat the dogs on. The IRS, that is. What I am doing, family, is showing you how to protect yourselves in commerce while doing commerce. This is for your protection, because I am tired of you getting ripped off by banking institutions that do not have your best interests. These mortgage institutions and financial companies that are foreclosing on us are no coincidence. We have forgotten our history. What am I saying to you? You have forgotten your title of nobility and true names. We are not supposed to be getting land by any mortgage. That's what I'm saying to you. You should know that a mortgage means civiliter mortuus. Civilitas in Latin means civil, and mortuus means dead. Civility dead. Dead in the view of the law. The condition of one who has lost his civil rights and capacities and is accounted dead in law according to the law dictionary. So the banks and all of the institutions sees we are dead in the view of law. Why? They have made you accept that you are African Americans, black, colored, or Negroes. These are misnomers in law, brothers and sisters. Misnomers means wrong or unsuitable names or terms for someone or somebody. You refuse to change and change your reality. See, in order for you to change your reality, you got to change the way you think. You got to change your mindset of that old doctrination you've been given. See, that's the problem with most of you all. So when you started getting something from the bank, this is why you revert back to that fear. What do I mean? You refuse to be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You refuse to take off the old man or woman and put on the new man or woman. You refuse to come out of the United States Federal Corporation and to accept your own and be yourself. That's what I mean. We are supposed to be obtaining land through an act going back to Abraham Lincoln's administration called the Homestead Act of 1862. Please write this down in your research notes. Why are they using mortgages as financial warfare against us as a people? We fought for our freedom. It was not old Abraham Lincoln that did some emancipation proclamation to free you and me, Aborigines, Moors to this land. We just perpetrating the fraud ourselves, and we don't really believe that we are true Moors to this land. Which one is it? That's why I read you in the Bible about Joshua. It was a way of taking our freedom and rights away to our land called Morocco. Yes, I said Morocco, not the United States of America and not the United States. They are not nations or countries. We fought our freedom for everyone on this earth. Take a look at the immigration laws that allows others to come into our land called Morocco. If we were still fighting these wars against these beasts, then no other people would want to come here. This is where you and I must know history. The saying has always been that we brought you all from Africa into the Americas. The American Colonization Society, 1816 through 1964, was formed in 1817 to send free African Americans to Africa and Haiti as an alternative means of choice to emancipate in the United States. In 1822, the society established on the west coast of Africa a colony that in 1847 became the independent nation of Liberia. Go to page 6 of 8, Hank, please.
Mm-hmm. 6 of 8 posted.
Thank you, sir. This all came under James Monroe, your president, who they named Monrovia, Liberia, because Congress created that as a new state, a way of sending us away from our land in Morocco, because Liberia is the only country that flies the U.S. banner. I did say banner, not flag, called Old Glory in red, white, and blue, because it was created by the Congress under the American Colonization Society. And I will instruct you all to go and pull that up and read it. Designed to put all Aborigines out of their land so all Europeans could occupy our land mass called Morocco. This is what the scheme was. This exodus had nothing to do with us because we were already home until new invaders had come to take our land. You have heard the song that says, this land is your land, this land is my land. You've heard the old song. So they came up with new legislation under the Emancipation Proclamation of Lincoln, and this brought about the Homestead Act, 1862. Write that down also and look it up. Our documents, please Google this and read it. You have to be 21 years of age at that time. Register the land for a small registration fee. After 5 years on the land, the original filer was entitled to the property free and clear, except for a small registration fee. And this means you will have the land for life. Now, this is talking about these peckerwoods you call Albion's Caucasian people, cave dwellers. This is who this is talking about. They only had to be 21 years old. And you know they changed that law. It ain't no longer 21 years old. It's 62 now. This could also be acquired after only 6 months. Gave them 6 months residency and trivia improvements, provided the claimant paid the government $1.25 per acre. Look at it. After the Civil War, Union soldiers could deduct the time they had served from the residency requirement. So this means there were never any mortgages. So the whole mortgage scheme was to steal our land, even if the mortgage is paid off. But you still do not own the land as an Aborigine/Moor. Now, when you read the mortgage contract, it specifically says that the borrower understands that the lender is insured for the full amount of the $400,000. Doesn't matter whether you was paying for 20 years. In mortgage insurance, there is a clause, now listen to it, there is a clause that says, lender is protected on non-payment or default loan. That's in the clause. This is also why you and I have to stop using the word understand, because under means sub and stand means status. So stop using that word as meaning you comprehend things. Comprehension and understanding are two different vehicles. Now, if you put the word status on the board with the word over and under, one is saying superior and the other is saying inferior. We are not dealing with inferior and superior complex. Only the Europeans deal with that because they have created a class system of haves and have-nots. It is your birth and natural right to land, to eat, to sleep, and to wake up, and to breathe, because there is no superior or inferior to have these things. So, what the European devil did in legislation and Congress was treason to the people by taking Homestead Act, reconstructed it, and now they call it the Star Exemption Program. You also want to look that word up. Star Exemption Program. In the Star Exemption Program, see what I told you earlier? They had to be 21 then. Well, listen to what it says now. In the STAR exemption program, you must be 62 years of age to qualify for tax exemption. See how they flipped it on you? See how these Caucasian people do? They had to be 21 years old, but now you got to be 62 years old now in order for you to get tax exemption. You have national parks and museums are living on your homestead. You should not be paying any taxes, levies, liens on your property under the homestead. Under the STAR program, if you are a trust beneficiary who conveyed your home to trustees but continue to live in the home, you get the STAR benefit. For example, a senior creates an express trust and conveys her home to her children as trustees. If she remains in the home as the beneficiary of the trust, she is considered the homeowner and gets the STAR benefit. 7 of 8, Brother Hank, last page.
Post it.
Thank you, sir. When they say securitization, they mean they are going to take away your property as an asset and put a mortgage lien on the property. This is what is meant by securitizing and selling your property in the form of an asset in the market. What is securitization audit? Securitization audit is an audit on the securitization of the mortgage loan into pools or portfolio of loans. Securitization audit involves tracking down the trust that owns the note. Not your trust, but their trust and related areas of ownership. This is due to the fact that the securitization of mortgages follows certain laws and regulations. This is what you should do when you put your property into the trust. Your express trust is the highest creditor in commerce and do not pay tax. You must learn how to underwrite and issue a promissory note to a financing institution. And I told you earlier, I'm not going to tell you yet who that institution is. Look at UCC 1-201. I just gave you that earlier. But I'm going to read it to you again. General definition, number 4. Bank means a person engaged in business or banking and includes a saving bank, savings and loans association, credit union, and trust company. That's what your express trust function as, a trust company in the commerce worlds of doing banking. Please listen to this. Now, I showed you all this before, but I'm going to read it again because it's important. Just in case somebody out there right now is going to sign a house, you'll sign it tomorrow. Please listen to this. Let me give you this caveat. I am not condoning it, but I am showing you how to navigate and lock it down. They are committing fraud anyway, so you will just lock it down. If you are going to navigate with the mortgage issue, there is a way to navigate. There are 2 ways to navigate. When you go to the closing for a mortgage, make sure you go to the closing with the blue pen. Blue pen. When you are sitting at the table with the banker, broker, and notary, they will issue 3 sets of the same package and have you sign with a black pen. The blue pen shows originality and the black pen shows duplicate. What am I saying? When you sign your promissory note, you sign in blue and give it to the same notary who will notarize theirs in black. So you will do this. They are going to pass you the first package with the black pen and you will sign them in black, the note and mortgage. They are going to give you the second package and you sign them in black ink also. The first 2 packages are theirs. They are going to issue you the 3rd package, which is yours. But you will sign yours in blue ink and give that to the notary. When you sign your package in blue ink, it will now show you have the original note and original mortgage, because I told you the blue one ink is originality and the black ink is duplicate. All must be with the same note. What will happen? They go to the county clerk's office where their citus is, because the clerk's office operates as a citus trust. See, a citus trust. Now, if you all remember, when I set up your trust, I set your trust up as citus in Taipei City, Taiwan. So you see, I don't know what y'all worried about when y'all get some letters from a bank and all that. Y'all are secured. Trust me, you're secured. Please Google state of a trust citus. Then click on PDF financialpro.org. The abstract is telling you where the trust citus is located. The location of the trust is what makes it citus. So the trust parties will consist of trustor, trustee, beneficiaries, and settlor, which are all trust parties to the citus. Do you all understand what they're saying? So your grantor, trust protector, trustee, beneficiaries, all are citus to your trust set up in Taiwan. So none of those parties falls up under the United States corporation. That's what I'm saying to you. So your trust is tight and solid. The trust itself is a corporate body. Changing the trust citus may result in significant administrative and tax benefit. This is why they take y'all off the tax roll. This is why y'all not going to have to pay that ad valorem tax to the county anymore. Because of how I set your trust up and where its citus is. What do they mean when they say administrative? They are talking about the executor on how he or she executes. The word tax benefit is talking about accounting. So you have to know both administrative process and the accounting. Changing the citus to a more favorable trust and taxing state could result in significant savings from both an administrative and a tax perspective. You find these attorneys and accountants trying to find tax haven states that are more favorable trust and taxing states that could result in significant savings. This was done by Prophet Norbert Ali. He left out of Newark, New Jersey, and went to Chicago, Illinois, for this very same reason, which is more favorable to the Moors. So the way I did you, awesome, I set your titus up in Taipei City, Taiwan. That makes it favorable to the Moors again. Okay? Now, tonight, I want you all, for all who properties in trust, go lay down and go to sleep and sleep good at night. Because your property is protected. On that note, Hank, that's it.
Well, hold on a second. After all that explanation, y'all need to be giving up some donations. Cash App, $ Moors 33054, Alfred Thompson. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. All right. Cash App again. $ Moors 33054, Alfred Thompson. And for an appointment, a consultation, 786-624-8257. Or email Mr. Bey 33169 at gmail.com. And on that note, Professor, I think that was an excellent presentation, family. Make sure you press the like button unless you want to find another source of information to show how you've been multi-generation ripoff and how to get free of that matrix. Thanks again, Professor.
Thank you too, sir, for bringing me on.
Until next week, Peace and blessings.
Oh, and family, hold up before we go. You know, we have the webinar on Saturday.
Did y'all hear that? Webinar on Saturday.
Yes, May 29th at 2 p.m. Make sure you all have paid. I sent you all out the text saying that you need to send your full name and phone number to that email I got called Stable.
Okay, so Professor, make sure you text me that so I can put it in the show description. Okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, family. Rest well and peace. Say often, yes, I am. Supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am. Take hold of your crystal, which will magnify your I am affirmations at least 600%. If you don't have a pistol, you better have a crystal.